Hello everybody and welcome to the official reception for the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Australian Business Summit Council Incorporated and the Australia-China Economics, Trade and Culture Association. I'm really deeply thankful to you all for giving generously of your time to be here today. And without further ado, we have a program that I'm going to more or less stick to, and you'll be hearing from me a little bit later on, as you will be hearing from some of our other distinguished guests. But I want to actually invite to the podium to give a formal welcome to you all, Mr. Dr. Ven Tan, who happens to be the Executive Chairman of the Australia-China Economics, Trade and Culture Association. So can we please have a round of applause for Dr. Tan?
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today at Acetca. Firstly, I'd like to extend my welcome to you all. And I would like to acknowledge some of the VIPs today. I'm sure that every one of you are VIP, but because I don't have the list, so I might only mention those people that I just met. So, Mr. Wang Hongbo, Economics and Commercial Counselor, Consulate General of People's Republic of China in Sydney. Ms. Wang Shiwei, Commercial Counsel, Consulate General of People's Republic of China in Sydney. Mr. Abdul Rahim, Commercial Counsel, Consulate General of Sri Lanka, and Mrs. Rahim not here. Mr. Gansuk Su, Director General, Korean Trade Investment Promotional Agency. Mr. Asad Jatowi, Trade Development Officer, Consulate General of Pakistan. Ms. Diane Tickpins, Chair, Export Council of Australia. Mr. Joe Qatar, AM, Founder, Executive Chairman, DM Development, President, Australian Lebanese Chamber of Commerce. Of course, Dr. Frank Alafaci, President of Australian Business Summit Council, and Mrs. Sylvia Alafaci. Mr. Michael Reid, Head of Trade Relations, Australian Lebanese Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Michael Hacking, CEO, Australian China Friendship and Exchange Association. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today at Acetca. On behalf of Acetca, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to you all to attend to today's event and witness the signing of MOU between Acetca and Absc. The Australian Business Summit Council is a management consultant forum for business leaders to network and augment business opportunity in Australia and abroad. The Council is committed to advancing sound business policy and practice to promote a vibrant, sustainable economy in Australia and to strengthen the business relationship between Australia and the global community. Frank has done very well. He's able and managed to gel everyone together. I think we should give him a round of applause. Acetca, the full name is Australian China Economics, Trade and Cultural Association. It's a non-profit, non-governmental, non-religious group registered in Australia. We have been committed to promoting economic, trade and cultural exchange between Australia and China. As you all know, unfortunately, during the recent period, we have been subjected to vicious attack by certain sections of xenophobia media community. Nonetheless, we need to move on regardless. So this MOU, I hope, will work together and we will make these two organizations even closer so that we can achieve our common goal. I'm sure that each organization will pursue many significant activities such as collaborations and promoting activity in the field of trade, industry, finance, investment, and many others. So without further ado, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to every one of you, especially to Frank and his many colleagues. Their insights, goodwill, and friendship have made the signing of this MOU a reality. In closing, I would like to say that I'm confident through our effort and commitment, we will be able to achieve more than we have started. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tan, for those kind words. I really, really appreciate it. As a matter of fact, I'm at a loss for words to express my appreciation. But thank you so very much. I think it's important for me to actually do a proper welcome as well. So I'm going to address you all in the beginning, much along the same lines as Dr. Tan. So without further ado, let me begin. So as the President of the Australian Business Summit Council, I welcome all of you to this exclusive private reception to mark the official signing ceremony for the Memorandum of Understanding between the Australian Business Summit Council Inc. and the Australia-China Economics, Trade and Culture Association. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet and pay my respects to their elders past, present and future. Moreover, like Dr. Tan, I would like to single out the VIP dignitaries, consular representatives, business leaders and community leaders who have given generously of their time to attend this momentous occasion. My heartfelt thanks and appreciation are extended to Ms. Wang Hongbo, Councillor for Economic and Commercial Affairs, the Consulate General of the People's Republic of China, Ms. Wang Shiwei, and please forgive my incorrect Chinese pronunciation, Consul for Commercial Affairs, Consulate General of the People's Republic of China, Mr. Abdul Rahim, Consul for Commercial Affairs, Consulate General of Sri Lanka, Mr. Asad Jatoy, Trade Development Officer, Consulate General of Pakistan, Ms. Diane Tipping, Chair, Export Council of Australia, Mr. Joe Qatar, AM, Founder and Executive Chairman of Dildam Developments and President of the Australian Lebanese Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Michael Risk, Head of Trade Relations, the Australian Lebanese Chamber of Commerce and Managing Director of Mid-East Link Pty Limited, Mr. Gangsuk Su, Director General, Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency, Mr. Michael Harkins, MVO, PSM, KSJ, and one of these days I'll remember what those anagrams stand for. CEO of the Australia-China Friendship and Exchange Association, Mr. Wei Li, CEO, Swan Wine Group and patron of the Australian Business Summit Council, Mr. Jason Yao, Deputy Head, Bank of China Limited, Haymarket Branch, Mr. John Gilmovich, President of the Property Owners Association of Australia. I could go on because as far as I'm concerned, you're all VIPs. I want to make that absolutely clear to you all. But because of time limits, I'll just proceed on to the main part of my speech. And I'd like to begin by saying, as you all know, that it's an evident truth that business comprises the lubricated engine of an economy. Indeed, the pumping lifeblood of business through far-reaching vision, application and ultimate success determines the progress and competitiveness of advanced economic systems. In Australia, this intrinsic entrepreneurial spirit and dedication are part and parcel of the numerous businesses that have been striving to establish their hard-fought-for, well-deserved credentials as significant contributors to the economic progress of this so-called lucky country. As the new peak management consultant forum that serves the interests of the Australian business community, the Australian Business Summit Council Inc. seeks to promote trade and investment avenues for Australian businesses by strengthening multilateral commerce, trading and investment relationships both within the national economy and on an international stage. In line with this, the Australian Business Summit Council Inc. represents an intellectual mouthpiece for informative debates and discussions on sound business policies and practices that stimulate a vibrant, sustainable and competitive Australian economy, as Dr. Tan alluded to in his presentation. As such, the Australian Business Summit Council Inc. delivers sensible, practical, comprehensive views, opinions, suggestions, recommendations and long-term solutions in order to enhance commercial links and investment opportunities with our known regional trading partners and, importantly, hitherto untapped markets. Occupying prime importance, the People's Republic of China has become an extremely lucrative market for Australian businesses. Statistically, the PRC constitutes the largest importer of Australian agricultural products, the third largest buyer of Australian manufactured goods, and a highly profitable outlet for the Australian services sector. Nearly $6 billion of our services export earnings come from the PRC, more than from any other country anywhere in the world. Australia exports $30 billion more to China than the next largest export destination, Japan, and almost 3 times greater than exports to the United States and India combined. Australian companies, in turn, import some $46 billion worth of goods and services from the PRC each year. Imports from China, such as computers, telecommunications equipment, furniture and clothing, produce immense benefits for Australian consumer households. Concurrently, Australia represents a significant destination for investment from the PRC, which contributes in large measure to tax revenue and job creation. At present, the PRC ranks 6th amongst the countries with investments in Australia. Chinese companies have been emboldened to invest on a large scale in Australia because of its sound financial, regulatory and commercial infrastructure. Underpinning the PRC's importance for Australian bilateral trade and investment, the Australian Business Summit Council Inc. has devoted considerable efforts to identifying and matching opportunities with potential Australian business engagement in that exceptional market in order to deliver major export development incentives and attract reciprocal investment between our country and the Chinese economy. In the furtherance of these objectives, the Memorandum of Understanding between the Australian Business Summit Council Inc. and the Australia-China Economics Trade and Culture Association that will be signed before this audience here today will contribute to a substantial degree. By entering into this Memorandum of Understanding, the Australian Business Summit Council Inc. and the Australia-China Economics Trade and Cultural Association will cooperate with one another in the sectors of trade and industry, finance, investment and other sectors mutually agreed upon by the parties in order to promote the economic relationship between Australia and the People's Republic of China through A. regular exchanges between the parties on bilateral and multilateral commercial and trade issues, as well as exchanges of expertise, resources, projects and incentives. B. Greater exchanges of trade and investment missions to strengthen trade and investment promotion efforts. C. Optimising investment and boosting joint ventures by generating favourable conditions and providing all necessary assistance for companies and investors from Australia and the People's Republic of China represented by the parties. D. Encouraging the respective members of the parties to participate in international trade fairs, exhibitions, seminars and other activities to be organised by the parties. And E. Coordinating business events to provide a platform for intensive networking between the Australian and Chinese business communities. Bilateral Australian PRC economic relations have unlocked countless opportunities for Australian businesses to undertake profitable commercial ventures in an increasingly diversified, mammoth export market and considerable source of foreign investment. Australian businesses are strongly committed to building Chinese trade and investment connections, to expand mutually beneficial opportunities, especially in improving physical infrastructure, integrating trade and investment policies, and promoting corporate partnerships. As the President of the Australian Business Summit Council Inc., I look forward very much to adding my signature to the Memorandum of Understanding with the Australia-China Economics, Trade and Culture Association, alongside the Executive Chairman of the ACETCA, Dr. Van Tan. Please allow me now to take this opportunity to invite to the podium Ms. Wang Hongbo, Councillor for Economic and Commercial Affairs of the Consulate General of the People's Republic of China, to give her VIP address. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much, Frank. And ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Well, I would like to pay tribute to all the VIPs, and I think it's a great opportunity for all of us to come together and to celebrate this moment of a collaboration, which really builds on the multicultural synergies between the two organizations and serving the much larger markets than Australia and China. Because the presence of all of you here, on the one hand, shows the diversity and the cultural diversity of Sydney of New South Wales. On the other hand, also shows the benefits of trade and investment. Trade and investment is a beginning. It is a beginning of a business endeavor, but most importantly, it is a beginning of people-to-people relationship, understanding. It is also an end, because the success of a business deal is an end in itself for the certain stage. But if you put that in a larger picture, like using your camera, zooming out, and that is also a beginning. Well, I don't know whether they will be a little bit paradoxical, but this is at least the way that we Chinese tend to look at things and the situations or circumstances. But most importantly, trade and investment is a very important medium and a vehicle that bring people together to celebrate our common grounds and to celebrate our common aspiration, and also to build understanding and respect for the differences among us. We come from different cultures with different histories, and some of you are here as Australian residents or even nationals, and some of you come far, still retaining your original nationality. But those are not what set us apart. And those are actually what bring us together. It's because of this need to understand each other, to explore the opportunities, that we are here, gathering here, to talk to each other, to listen to each other. This is China's 70th anniversary as a young republic, even though we have 5,000 years of history. So it is a great time to reflect and also to look ahead. Well, what we would always remember is that the country always succeeded by uniting the people. And the country also builds its friendship and respects its neighbors and partners in all senses. And that is the spirit we are going to carry forward into the next 70 years. Economic and trade shows a great potential between China and Australia, just as Frank and Dr. Van Tan highlighted. And there are so much more beyond what China and Australia can each individually achieve and can achieve together. With all your participation, insights, and wisdom, we can build our success and to spread the benefits of trade and investment to many other communities and many countries. Although Global Village is not appearing in news as often as it did a couple of years ago, we have to admit, and no one can deny, the Global Village is right here, and all of you, as with me, we bear witness to its existence and to its vitality. And as today's signing is going to show, cooperation, understanding, and mutual respect will take us a very, very long way. So with that, I wish the very best success of the two organizations individually and together. I also wish the best of luck to all of you in your business endeavors with China or beyond. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Councillor Wang. What a wonderful speech too, without notes. In a language that is not her first language. Wonderful. Thank you so very, very much. Now, I'm not sure if we have Professor Ru-Ying Chi here. Do we have the professor? Hello, Professor. How are you? First of all, please accept my apologies for not acknowledging you. But I was going to give you a lavish introduction, please don't sit down, have a rest, because I've got a few nice words to say about you and I don't want you to stand up for too long. I'm very now honoured and privileged to invite Professor Ru-Ying, is it Chi? Is that the way? Okay. I do have a few Chinese students in my MBA classes, so my Chinese is steadily improving, more than my Korean. Anyway, I'm now very honoured and privileged to invite Professor Ru-Ying Chi to the podium as the special guest speaker to deliver her address. Professor Chi is an associate professor, head of the China Liaison Unit and director of the Bilingualism Research Lab in the School of Humanities and Communication Arts at Western Sydney University. Professor Chi's research focuses on bilingual and multilingual development, bilingual first language acquisition, Chinese language and culture pedagogy, is that the way you pronounce it? I think so. And its applications to the development of effective curricula for Chinese L2 learners as well as early childhood bilingual education. Her monograph, published in 2011 as The Bilingual Acquisition of English and Mandarin Chinese Children in Australia, published by Cambria Press, New York, remains the only systematic study in Mandarin English childhood bilingualism and is regarded as a groundbreaking study in this field. Professor Chi has also published several journal articles and book chapters on early bilingualism and language teaching and has been a frequent invited speaker at national and international conferences, workshops and public lectures in Chinese education, bilingualism and applied linguistics. Professor Chi has achieved 4 international research fellowships and visiting professorships at Nanjing University, Jinan University, the Chinese University of Hong Kong and the University of London. She has also served as an expert advisor, assessor and reviewer on 9 state, national and international educational advisory and academic bodies, including China's Ministry of Education, the New South Wales Board of Studies and the Australian Office of Learning and Teaching. Professor Chi has received high-level media attention with features in The Australian, 23 Global Web News, China's prestigious news agency Xinhua, People's Online TV, TVS TV and SBS TV. She was awarded the 2009 Australian Learning and Teaching Council citation for outstanding contributions to student learning and the 2011 UWS, as Western Sydney University was called back then, College of Arts Teaching Excellence Award, together with her Chinese teaching team, as well as the 2012 Australian Office of Learning and Teaching Citation Award for outstanding contributions to student learning. Everybody, please, a huge round of applause for Professor Chi.
That's a great honor, and I feel overwhelmed by your nice compliments of me. And I haven't prepared anything because I was told, Esther tell me to come here to teach Chinese. But actually I feel very, very excited and privileged to stand here and to welcome all the VIPs and all our distinguished guests. And as you have already said, General Wang, and you say that this is a forum, this is the initiative we've been working together. for trade investment. It's not only trade investment, but it's also a bridge to bridge our hearts, our minds together, and to do more about friendship, cooperation, and better world, better community, and better self. Yeah. So because I was told to teach Chinese here, so I would like to, first I would like to teach my name. So as you have already said, so what's this, how do you say this? How do you say my name, please, in English? Ru Ying, then what's the last word? Yeah, T. But actually, it's in Chinese. It is, I should be, say the family name first, then given name, right? So this is, how do you say it? How do you say the name in Chinese? Yeah, or either Qi Ru Ying or Qi Ru Ying. Qi. How do you know it's Qi? It's not Qi. Why it is not Qi, actually?
We went already to China.
You already? It's great. That's the great answer and the great link, right? We are linking together. You actually can speak my name, say my name correctly. Yeah, it's given me a huge warmth. Actually, you touch me very, very profoundly. Yeah, and also we have not only say this name in alphabetic pronunciation, we have Chinese character this Chinese, can you read the Chinese character, please? No. So if you don't know how to read Chinese, it's a good opportunity to come to the business Chinese class. We actually have the class in Western Sydney University, starting from the earlier non-scratch on, from Abc on, up to the high level Chinese culture, Chinese traditional thoughts, Chinese literature, and how do you do business in China, and how to connect, most importantly, how to connect our mind to heart and to around the world. Yeah. Actually, I have 10 PhD students, one of them from Nepal, another one India, and the third one Pakistan. And also we Vietnam and Singapore and all around the world. So this is actually bilingualism, biculturalism, or by investment or trades. Yeah, these are the platform to build relationship, build friendship, and most importantly, build, as you said, a family. Yeah, this is the global village, this is the global family. And we will actually, in our class, to teach our shared values. So what is family? What is family? Yeah. And also we will teach about what is the love. Yeah. And we actually share all the love in here. And also we find, in our research, we got more similarities. We all got more common goals than differences. Yeah. We actually, in China, everybody knows, we respect, the value is respect each other. Yeah. And reciprocal relationship. So we give you face and you give back the face. So what is face in Chinese? It's my face, right? My face and your face, everybody share the same face. Yeah. If you don't give face, then people would think you are actually like this. Yeah. So what's this? It's a face. Yeah. So what kind of face? Actually, this face is formed by Chinese characters. Yeah, the Chinese character. So it's 3 characters on this face. You can see 3 characters. Decode 3 1. One is bad, another one is small, and then the third one is the little boy. Right? Naughty little boy. Right? Yeah. So when this is also the way we show how to teach. One of the VIP asked me how to teach Chinese character. this is our way to teach Chinese character, right? In a holistic way. And also, the word has some historical, social, cultural, linguistic meaning. And when we put them together, it has more meaning. So that's why when we putting efforts together, we will make a huge difference for our community, for our country, and for the whole world. Yeah, I really thank you very much to give me the opportunity to introduce myself and our lab, and also introduce our course in Chinese course. If you Google the Western Sydney University Chinese, you will find our all Chinese courses. And also I like to thank Josephine Lam, the president AFA, and Esther Lan, who give Western Sydney University the Chinese program, bilingualism program, a great support. And we sent hundreds of students to go to Jinan University and other winter camp, China's winter camp. When they come back, they just give us such a astonishing feedback. And they say they never seen so many people in their whole life. So many friendly people, and they made a lot of friends, and they give them tremendous opportunities to grow themselves and grow their relationship and grow their future. So in the end, I would like to say, 谢谢, 谢谢. Can we say 谢谢 together? 谢谢. 再见. Thank you.
Thank you for Professor Chu to come over to introduce her Chinese class. But before you commit to take a long course to learn Chinese, in our Acetca, we actually host one class every 2 months. This is a trial class, but helps you to explore the Chinese culture, including something you will not understand just by doing the computer translation, Google translation. We also tell about what's our deep feelings and our history of the Chinese. So I think we just leave it here. And if you like to take the next class, we're going to have it in November. Just read the news of Absc. They will have the news come to you. Thank you.
When you do business with other countries, it's extremely important, and a lot of you know that much better than me, it's extremely important to understand that if you want to do business with Pakistan or India or China or Lebanon or Italy for that matter, you need to familiarise yourselves not only with the language, you need to familiarise yourselves with the culture. You need to familiarise yourself with the mannerisms, the traditions. Even the way you greet people is different. We Italians or Italian Australians, we greet people by kissing them, men and women, on the cheeks, 2 cheeks. The French do it 3 times, I believe. But I would never, ever greet a Korean lady by kissing her in the cheeks, because I found out, much to my detriment, that is a horrifying thing to do. Okay, so it's very important. So the purpose of these cultures that the ACETCA will be running every 2 months would be to teach you not only the language which will enable you to communicate with people when you do go to China or when you're dealing with Chinese people here in Australia, but you'll be learning about the culture, which will then enable you to start doing business with Chinese people, with China, the second largest economy in the world. And it's very, very important to know how to do business with people outside of your immediate community, whether you happen to be Italian or Korean or Lebanese or French or German or Pakistani or Sri Lankan or Indonesian or Armenian for that matter. And that is very, very important. So I think these lessons will be very beneficial in a 3-fold way. Teach you the language, teach you the culture, and teach you therefore how to go about connecting people on a personal and a business level so that you can start opening new business new doors of business opportunities, expand your businesses, expand your horizons, expand your networks, and by doing all of that, enhance your reputation at the same time. So thank you very, very much, and thank you, Asta, for being so kind as to give a little bit more information about that. Time that everybody's been waiting for, and that is the official signing ceremony of the MOU between our two organisations. Okay, so.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a very short speech. We are honoured and privileged as a Chamber of Commerce with the presence of the President of the Chamber, Mr. Joe Qatar, to be associated with Frank and the team. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I'm not trying to say just a few nice words about Frank. I can tell you that ever since we met together with Frank and Sylvia, we've been on the move all the time and in the right direction. I think, the relationship between our two associations, we are both targeting the international arena, not only Southeast Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and we believe that being in Sydney and with this great community of ours, and I say communities, we are blessed in many ways, and we should make good use of it. And I think if we, all join hands and work together, we can do great work and really promote what this great country has to offer. I can stand here and tell you many good stories that we were able to achieve this year. Because if you are involved in international trade and investments, I think it takes special people. It's not only the culture, of course the culture plays a very important role, but it's mannerism as well. And I find, Australians, if they're well behaved when they travel to other countries, they can transact easily, because we do have a great reputation. Australia is a very credible nation. And I can tell you many good stories. So we are proud to be working hand in hand with Frank and the team. And thanks very much to Acetca for hosting today's event. And it's great to see everybody here. And assure you that we will continue the good work with Frank and the team to really promote what this great country has to offer. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Doctor. And thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those kind words. I've got some concluding remarks. Then we'll have an official photo session, and then we can enjoy a little bit of networking and the magnificent food that's there on offer. So just bear with me for another minute. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, since registration with New South Wales Fair Trading in December of 2018, the Australian Business Summer Council Inc. has actively sought to forge links and establish partnerships with mainstream organisations that promote trade and investment between Australia and the international community. One of the outstanding results of these continuous endeavours, to which all of you have been privy today, is the official signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Absc Inc. and the Acetca. I would like to thank Dr. Ven Tan, the Executive Chairman of the Acetca, for entering into the Memorandum of Understanding on behalf of this eminent Chinese-Australian organisation. Dr. Tan epitomises the hard work, devotion and perseverance that have propelled him to the top of his profession and indeed of the Chinese-Australian community that he glowingly represents. In a career spanning several decades, Dr. Chan has not only dedicated himself to the attainment of the highest moral, ethical and practical standards in his profession as the Director of Tasley Health PAC International Medical Corporation Pty Limited, but he's also selflessly and continuously served his fellow Chinese Australians through the Australia-China Economics, Trade and Culture Association and the Sun Ling Ching Foundation, with the largesse of his community involvement, charitable work and representative position as among the most distinguished leaders of the Australian Chinese community. I'm extremely optimistic that the Australian Business Summit Council Inc. and Acetca will have an enduring and productive relationship underscored by mutually beneficial outcomes as our two like-minded organisations prepare to cooperate in furthering the bilateral economic relations between Australia and the People's Republic of China. As with all successful events, it goes without saying that the official signing ceremony and reception for the MOU between our two organisations would not have been possible without the extraordinary contributions of the Board of Directors of both organisations. In particular, I would like to single out the Absc Inc. Secretary Sylvia Alafaci and the Vice President of the Acetca, Mrs. Asta Lam, for choosing the appropriate venue, sending out the invitations, preparing the name tags, organising the seating arrangements and providing the exquisite food and beverages that have made this official signing ceremony and reception an unforgettable experience. May I also acknowledge my fellow Board of Directors for their steadfast dedication to the mission and activities of the Australian Business Summit Council Inc. Ms. Hong Huang, where are you, Hong? Vice President, Mr. Vahe Hamparian. Vahe, can you please stand up, please? Treasurer, our newest board member, Mrs. Josephine Lamb. Where are you, Josephine? Maybe she had to leave early today. Okay. The Director of the Asia Pacific region, Mr. Vikas Rawat. He can't be here today because Vikas is our IT Director and he's actually based in New Delhi, India. Ms. Tae Soon Yoon, Director, unfortunately she cannot be here, and Mr. Taufan Giardani, the Director of the Absc Inc. respectively, and Taufan is here. And I'm pleased to say that Taufan is a former MBA student of mine who's actually gone on to establish his own business, Digo Enterprises, focusing on IT, and he's a very, very successful young entrepreneur. So thank you very, very much for being here. Finally, my sincere thanks and appreciation to all of you for attending this afternoon's official ceremony and reception of the MOU between the Absc and the Acetca. Please enjoy the extensive camaraderie, networking opportunities and the magnificent Chinese food, Italian pastries as well, and beverages that have been provided during the remainder of this momentous gathering. Thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart.